So my name is Dana Suddaby, and I'm a planner with the city's Development Services Department. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to present to you the neighborhood, a development concept being considered by the owner and development team of 334 and 340 Ardagh Road prior to a formal development application being submitted to the city. This provides an opportunity for the development team to hear the initial community feedback and incorporate it into their plans prior to making a full and formal development application to the city. Please be aware we are recording this meeting for the public record. The recording will be used for the purpose of garnering your input and to respond to inquiries for the purpose, and will be considered public information. Please also be aware that as a registered attendee tonight, your mailing or email address will be added to the mailing list so that you can receive further information about this application as it progresses. Should you have any questions regarding this collection, please contact the Development Services Department. I would also like to let everyone know that there are staff behind the scenes managing the technology tonight. They're here to make sure the meeting runs smoothly, to grant participants the opportunity to speak, and to assist with any questions in the chat. Please bear with us if you have any issues, and if for some reason you get disconnected, please feel free to log back in. So the intent of tonight's meeting is to provide members of the public with an opportunity to become familiar with the development application and the planning review process, and to also ask the applicant questions and provide feedback. So what to expect during the virtual neighborhood meeting is a brief overview of the city's review process and timing, a presentation from the applicant's representative describing the proposal, and an opportunity to ask questions of either the applicant or city staff and provide comments or identify concerns with the application. So what not to expect? City staff recommendations on the application or a detailed analysis of the proposal, as this will occur later in the review process, and a debate on the merits of the proposal between city staff and the applicant. So before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to quickly highlight the next steps in the application process. So this neighborhood meeting is established early in the development process to ensure local concerns are incorporated or addressed through the city's review. After this meeting, we expect that the applicant will make a formal application submission for this development project. Formal submissions undergo a full technical review and must address comments received from this neighborhood meeting, from the city's technical departments and external agencies, and from members of the public more broadly. In conjunction with this, a statutory public meeting will be held both in person and virtually on the application at the Affordability Committee. At the public meeting, applicants present their application to the Affordability Committee, answer questions, and provide an overview of and a response to any issues or concerns identified prior to the neighborhood meeting. As a part of the public meeting, members of the public also have an opportunity to provide verbal or written comments. So following a public meeting, staff will continue the technical review process and the applicants will make any necessary revisions to the development proposal. Once the review process has concluded, a staff recommendation report is brought forward to council for their consideration. All comments received throughout the review process, including those received at the neighborhood and public meeting, are identified and addressed in the staff report and form part of staff's recommendation on the application. A staff report for this particular application would likely be brought forward to council sometime in late 2023, depending on when a formal application is received. So I will now move on to the applicant's presentation. And as I mentioned, the proposed project and application will be presented to you first, which we will then follow with a question and comment period. So tonight we are focusing on a zoning bylaw amendment proposed at 334 and 340 Ardagh Road. The applicant's planner is Marcel Guilford and Joanna Fast from Evans Planning. So the proposed zoning bylaw amendment seeks to rezone the subject lands from residential single detached dwelling first density, or R1, to residential multiple dwelling second density townhouse, or RM2-TH. The proposed zoning bylaw amendment would facilitate the development of 20 street townhouse units. So I will now hand the control over to Joanna, who will first introduce themselves and share their presentation on the proposed development.
Thanks so much, Dana. I'm going to share my presentation. So thanks everyone for attending. My name is Joanna Fast. I'm a planner with Evans Planning. With me tonight is also Marcelle Gifford. She's also a planner with Evans Planning. So here's the agenda. Here's what I'll be going through in my presentation. So the site consists of two properties. They're located on either side of Neva Road, just north of Ardagh Road. Each property is roughly about 0.4 of an acre. And each property currently supports a single family dwelling. The City of Barrie official plan designates the properties as neighborhood area, and that's in the city's new official plan. The Ardagh Road is identified as an arterial road. The City of Barrie's zoning bylaw identifies that the properties are zoned R1, if that's residential single detached dwelling, first density R1. So we're preparing to make an application to the City of Barrie for a zoning bylaw amendment, as Dana mentioned. So we're going to be rezoning the site to allow for a townhouse development, and our zoning bylaw will rezone the site to RM2-TH, and will include some special site provisions that relate to the proposed development. This is our proposed site plan. This is just preliminary at this point. We're here this evening to get feedback on this site plan. We're proposing a total of 20 units within this development. We have a total of 4 blocks of townhouses on either side of Neva Road. The townhouses will be 3 stories in height. Each will have 2 parking spaces, one within a garage and one on the driveway. Through this development, Neva Road is proposed to be upgraded and urbanized. As you can see, we have sidewalks on either side of the road. And that's basically it for the site plan. We don't have any elevations prepared at this point yet, but we'd like to get your feedback on this site plan design. So the special provisions that we're going to be asking for will be tailored to this site development. They're listed here. We're just asking for some minor changes to some of the setbacks and other requirements of the zone in the zoning bylaw. The one that's like a little bit, looks like it's rather large is the maximum gross floor area for % of the lot area. That's just because of the 3-story design that we have. Lastly, here's the project statistics. So each unit is going to be 134 meters squared. We have 20 units. Our front yard setback is 5.7 meters. The height of the buildings will be 9.95 meters. And again, the parking is 2 spaces per unit. Wanted to give you an idea of some of the development applications that are going on in the area and have been approved. I'm sure you're familiar with them as well. So our site is outlined in red. And so going from left to right, there's a large townhouse development that I believe has been approved for their zoning, that for 310 townhouse units. Just to the west of our site, there was a development for a condominium proposal for 17 single-family residential units and the extension of Tech Road. And then further to the east, there's a 6-story mixed-use building with commercial space that included 50 apartment units and 31 townhouses. And then further east, there is also a development for 27 street townhouses, 19 cluster townhouses and 12 back-to-back townhouses. So you can see that there's a lot of development that's been going on along this stretch of Ardagh Road. So that brings me to the end of my presentation.